easier situation because he's gonna be all alone here throughout this match. And I guess Sanzu, the goal here
Babantayan yan eh.
for that player is at
Babantayan
least
yan.
survive this one. Do not engage immediately and at least get that opportunity to get the rest of the dog tags back up and running. For Rage here, still a good situation, although their opponents are outside of this facility, so they have opportunity to just get all of their loots. This is what they need to definitely utilize. If you have no opponents, get as much as you can. Really utilize whatever is
Takbo
available
sila.
on your map, on your particular place, and get what you're comfortable with when it comes to your chosen weapons. So for now, 21 squads for bracket D here. Good situation for most of them. As you
Uy.
can see, na medyo everyone's still outside of the zone, outside. I guess will not be engaging as crazy as we expected to them to be. So medyo interesting setup here for ERN. Really going through that high ground, pero perhaps just for a vantage point across that entire map to see perhaps
Yes.
if there's anybody else to engage just yet. But for now, T7 Carlo dealing with that K9 already, but we'll definitely see more of that in the future. So this is really a matter of how well do you engage. But this time, Blackfire Esports showing off already. Let's see if they can
Jeez.
show off right now. It manages to shut down one member right there. Nashty takes out first frag already for the team, but Red deals with a bit of a damage, but the rest of the crew back up there for the revive. And now I guess they're just trying to look for the rest of their opponents for this map, but will not find anyone just yet. Perhaps a bit of a calm before the storm here for Blackfire Esports.
Exactly. A little bit of a calm before the storm, but AXP full clip will be dropping a clip against Senzu on that
Wala na,
encounter.
laglag
That's
na
gonna be 3
BTT.
kills now for your team number 4, AXP Vansir. But again, we are playing for placing here. But this time, your players, your team can be aggressive, trying to cut down the numbers of competition for the final zones. And now Rage Rio just cleaning up some K9 unit, making sure that he is up and alive, surviving, and of course, position-wise. 70 players and 20 teams. So this time, oh my goodness me, we already had one team wiped out. Unlike bracket A to C earlier on, I think we have reached the
Nasaan DDC
second or
ngayon?
the third zone or even the fourth zone before we're seeing some drop in numbers
Airdrop
when it
incoming.
comes to the team count. But this time around, looks like
Laglag yung
Dad,
BTT
you are
kanina,
right
nakita
on
ko. 20 out of 21
trying to
na
foresee
lang
that
ang
this
team.
bracket will be much more aggressive than the other bracket. Well, let's see and find out. Maybe we're just talking a little bit early because again, right now it's anyone's game, and
Yes.
let's see how well they will be
I
able
agree.
to perform. So far, T7 down to their 2 players going up for the loot, and look at this, your team of ULE playing it safe. They have an opposing team as well. I think that's going to be the T7 just trying to play it out here on this side of the football field. And knowing that this is a barrier of protection, then definitely they can stay inside for a duration of time to increase their survivability.
That's a very interesting technique there. They definitely cannot engage with each other. They can just stay there. If the zone permits, that would be the good spot. They could basically hold up until the very end. And if forced with the engagement, that's the only time they'll have to pull up. But, it is what it is. But we'll see perhaps more of them later on tonight. As you mentioned, no, Gama, no? We're only down to 20 squads. One squad is already down and out. But still, for an initial PR setup that we have right now, it's actually interesting that they are not yet as aggressive for now. Because as we mentioned, the map flight plan that we've had for this one is very down straight to the middle. So everyone's basically spread off already. So that's a kind of an advantage for all of them because they have the opportunity to just get the respective loots, whatever they want to have, to get the best weapons that they would prefer to use. But so far, these kids here at T7 are just playing ball right now. So perhaps probably we can see more of the actual actions for some of the squads. But I guess for now, this is the fun thing of really playing it here. We're all keeping it safe here. Since no one can engage at this point because of that barrier, no one can use their weapons. They're just literally playing ball here, perhaps, securing whatever loot they have here at the football field. But this fun will end at some point in time. So the question is when.
So a little bit of a drawback, right? A little bit of a laid back. And there you go. Your question is when. Looks like it's now because the zone is closing in. So these teams, these players will be forced to move out of that field and maybe fight with one another or go separate ways to secure a better position for one another. But you know, at this moment, at this very few moment here, we just saw a little bit of a laid back engagement. So a little bit of break to gunfights and just play soccer, right? Or play football. A little bit survive in this force field. But again, zone will be closing in. Even though that zone damage is not that much just yet, it really depends on how far the safe zone is, because you need to be wise on how you want to move all throughout the isolated map, because as you traverse the lands of isolated, you might be caught up with some surprises, with some ambushes, and so on. And looks like this football field is a little bit far on the safe zone, so let's say on the second or third close, they really need to move out of that football field.
For sure. Yeah, as we can see, about 10 squads are outside of the zone right now, while the rest are already in. So for those 10 squads inside the zone, I guess they're kind of picking off with how 4K Overload played their setup. Make sure that they have access already to the safe zone. If they already have their respective weapons and their upgrades already set, then they can just basically wait out for their opponents and engage with them in an effective
Tingnan
manner.
natin
So
kung
it's really a
sino
matter of
mag-aano.
really how well you
Kamusta,
wanna
GDZ?
play
pa
out
nila
this
binubutunan
entire
eh.
game here. It's basically a wait and see setup for most of these ones. Meanwhile,
Excited na
we
ako.
have here Mystic, our foreign team here, trying to spot out some opponents, but so far nobody
GDZ is
in the
clan
horizon
supporters na,
just
clan
yet. So
ng
everyone's gonna
supporters
be
namin.
this one for Mystic. Still gonna be a
Sobrang
quiet setup
excited
for
ako
them. They
ngayon na
definitely
makita
need to
sila.
push a little bit further
Go,
north,
guys!
basically, to find their opponents. Meanwhile, for LE here, this LE Zenith,
Yes.
Lunaris Mirai, I think. Lunaris Mirai. Yeah, they're still gonna be a bit quiet here for these ones. Medyo no one still in their horizon. Meanwhile, AIM here also trying to perhaps play by the zone just at the very edge. Perhaps wait for these squads to come in and then engage with them at a long distance. That's, I guess, the play for AIM here, trying to pop up some nades at the other side of the mountain. As you can see here, the situation
Ooh.
between Ne and AIM here. So let's see if this one works for them.
Let's see if this is gonna be working out on either of the both side. But so far, your team aim just waiting patiently, just keeping an eye maybe for some movements from the team of LE. But we can see here our 2-2 PA just waiting for the chance as well. TRG Light, on the other hand, just playing it safe. And again, team number 10, your team, the Red Giants, are just playing on a trio scenario. Well, I'm not sure if they're just off with one scan, but we can see 3 players left only for the team number 10 or your team of TRG. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, we already had one team wipe out, but for the next of these moments, no teams has been wiped out again. 20 teams still intact, 72
Kinakabahan ako
players
sa
still
GDZ.
standing down to the second zone, and the zone
makapasok
is
sila.
shrinking in once again. So the pressure will be building up even more for the final zone, just as much as the last brackets or the last rounds that we did have. For Walpy of
naglag yung
LE, a
ano.
little bit of a stand here, jamming at that, while the rest of the players of LE is now going inside of the zone, and your team number 3 as well, your Empyrean
Wala pong
Reborn,
nagbabakbakan.
playing on a trio scenario. Smoke Bomber, Medic,
Wala
and a
pa.
Shockwave combination for their team. They don't have any arsenal guns just yet, but they do have a good amount of loot for themselves, just
Wala pa
able enough
nagbabakbakan,
to
guys.
fight back or retaliate against the opposing players that might be pushing in on their way. Now we can hear a little bit of a gunshot coming from the left side. T7 Carlo with a grenade, able to eliminate K9 units, clearing it up. Looks like your team HIQ is now down to their 2 players. We have Lee and Nerf, and let's see how well they'll be engaging. Or are they gonna be playing it safe and get the dog tags, or will they play aggressively?
I guess for this bracket, no, bracket D is somehow looking similar to bracket E. They're definitely not engaging just yet. They're trying to hold off any engagements as much as they can, or at least push off that final fight when everyone is basically almost forced to do so. Right now for GDC here, also holding off their engagement against AXP. They have the opportunity perhaps to push this one already, but refuses to. It's the good move right here because they don't really have that significant advantage just yet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, T7 here, perhaps I set on Awi, was basically an inch of their life already, but they also need to deal with their own as well. So I guess there are some other players here on the other side.
Ay, naglag!
Wale here and Awi trying to survive this one. See, this is when the zone definitely gets a little bit trickier, and it pains you a little bit more. So now for these two squads, for Lunaris Mireille, now they're down to their 2, unfortunately. So for T7, that's gonna be a bit of advantage for them if they can finish this one off. So this is where that risk becomes very evident, but is that still in a 4v2 situation? Coming in already, David trying to drive away from the situation. Sonic trying to go for push fire. Sonic trying to go in. Pong manages to shut down one. And Pong still trying to take this one in. James spots David trying to go for the finish. Manages to do so. And an extra loot as well. Awi is down and out. So Pong so far surviving and dealing with this entire squad and manages to somehow survive that initial engagement. But I guess right now he has to make a run for it. Could not hide off anymore from this one. Meanwhile, Potato Aim Esports. High ground advantage for this one. Dealing with Double Z here at the very edge. Going to go for the push. Muhammad tatalunan, but I guess will not just go in just yet. JM going for the backstab. G manages to do so. That's a good takedown right there. And now for Potato Aim Esports, they're just dealing with anybody they can find right now. They are not afraid to engage at this point. Doesn't matter who you are. They are going in for those kills. Meanwhile, on the other end, Rage also making sure their presence felt as well. This is just an absolute chaos. Now we're starting to see a little bit more of the engagements from these squads.
Exactly. We are now seeing some back-to-back action coming from our teams and players. Currently, we are down to 19 teams this round. And ooh, your awaited team, 4 Kings of Man, is now showing up under the radar. They have the high ground. They're trying to keep the bridge on crossing onto the next zone. Paes Polo will be taken out by Yato of the 4 Kings with that grenade. Ivy Dre on the other side having some engagement against the players of the team PO. And now the team of Paes is making a run for it, trying to run away and survive for the sake of their team, whilst the team of 4 Kings Man is now pushing forward on their area. And Tom Pips able to get that kill against Paes Lights with that Jack 12 shotgun, the infamous Jack 12 shotgun. Now, for the team Paes, down to their 2 players and now trying to survive, going to the side of ERN with just 3 players alive for them. We have the AXP just in front and Mystic Rogue able to get that kill against HIQ Lee on their side. Now, Mystic Rogue, look at that. Capitalizing on that class, capitalizing on that cluster clag, and try to do maybe damage or get some information about the whereabouts if a hit marker appears on his or her screen on that instance. 4K or just waiting up on that high ground. ER and Doc is also just waiting for the opportunity. Zone is closing in. They need to be wise again on how they traverse the lands, and they need to be careful who they are cross with. And Lay will be taken out by XPTO with an AK. Now for the team ERN just outside of the zone, playing it safe. 2 players left now for their team. So it's either they get the dog tag, play it safe, or maybe go for the aggressive play.
Perhaps it's going to be a turnaround for this one. There has an option for ERN here, but I don't think they want to risk this one up, as they're just trying to find here actually one squad just dropping off already. But unfortunately, ABR Show coming in from that chopper breakdown manages to make the best out of that situation. And now Rage here, full man stack here, but of course they may need to deal with another team from the other side. Meanwhile, Mystic here already have significant advantage already from the high ground. Rage coming in through the smoke, trying to go in for those takedowns as well. So this is where they're now forced to engage with their opponents, especially those who are trying to go into the zone already. That gatekeeping technique is coming into play already for some of these squads. So it's just a matter of really winning your gunfights if you can. Meanwhile, LE here trying to just perhaps stay out of trouble for sure, because you have Blackfire on the other side and another squad from the other end. So this would probably not be a good situation to just go fire out, because you don't really have much of a covered advantage, and that's gonna be the case indeed right there. They're now being forced out of the situation. XP on the other side of that map. They perhaps might go in for that push, or perhaps use that trade for cover for now to get out of that hot zone. It is just an absolute chaos right now. 15 squads remaining. Who gets to survive this one? Will we see a comeback, or will we see someone really show off that we are
Creators
not expecting for
Tournament, pero
tonight.
that's champion na.
Yes, exactly. Approaching the bitter end of this bracket D. Let's see if these teams and
Kasama ko na si
players
Crash,
will rise
si
up to the
Heath,
occasion.
si Nagi, ako, tsaka si Doc.
Ted
MT.
having a little bit of that slope advantage.
kami
The
champion.
smokes coming into the play. The team of Mystique is playing it
Tanungin nyo kung
safe.
sino
All of
captain.
them just holding up on this
Ako.
very big barn and just trying to survive. But the beauty here is that there's a lot of teams and players around the vicinity. Now, 4 Kings Java able to get that kill against LE Zell. AXP Bob eliminating France. The 4 Kings
Kaya
on the
medyo
right
boring
side
pa yun,
here
guys,
to the
kasi
bridge
nagtatago pa
side
sila.
is doing a good job holding that out and doing some damage. AXP is out in the open on where the 4 Kings can do some damage, but the team of Mystic is also right in the
Tago pa,
middle
dami
of
pang
this
tao.
action. Smoke Bomber comes into the play. They need to be careful, they need to be mindful, and they need to watch out on those nades coming in their windows. For the side of 4 Kings, 6 kills now for them. Zone closing in. Someone using the chopper, and Yato will be able to do a damage,
Nice.
knocking down 10 of the team ULE from that helicopter. Now get with a little bit of a good aim, get able to get that kill against Chris of the team ULE. 8 kills now for the team of 4 Kings main, and still capitalizing on
Kalmahan
this
lang sila.
slope advantage that they have as a team.
Definitely a good positioning there for 4 Kings. They have that slope advantage. If they're being pushed through forward, they can deal with double Z there, as that's what they're doing
Nice.
right now. Jelai taking the hits right there. Unfortunately, could not handle Tom basically at this point. And now 4 Kings going in for the push. They might need to deal with
Sino 4 Kings eh?
potato
Yato,
aim at
Jeff.
the other side, but they're definitely
Sige.
confident that they can
Umalis si
bring that
Rosa
gunfight. But we
dito.
also need to deal with those up in the north side of their area. So they just need to perhaps hold on to this position, perhaps force.
The safe zone is collapsing.
Perhaps force some action here coming from their side. AXP, Bob, and Ted, the last 2 players standing for the team AXP. 14 kills for them, surprisingly, and they trying to go in for some aggressive play. It looks like so much of an aggressiveness that
Dami
Dad
tao!
here is also being aggressive in what's going on his side. But back here, ladies and gentlemen, 9 teams is standing for the final moments
Ang
of
dami
our
tao!
bracket. This zone closing in.
Punyemas!
They need to be careful. Top tips, knocking down Mystic Ayo. Pop will be taken out by Supremo,
Dali.
taking out the players of the Mystic is being picked up one by one, while the team of 4 Kings is also up and surviving. Jeff eliminating Lich of the IV, while the team of Paes down to their
Ang
2
hirap
players,
nitong zone na
Gigi
to.
and Light.
Ang
Light on a
daming,
low
ang
HP.
daming
Gigi
bundok,
trying to
ang
fight
daming
back and have Light
open
back into
area.
the action. Supremo is already knocked down, and Light going in for the rescue. Gay eliminating Paes Polo. Rage Z being knocked down. Look at that beautiful zone and this
Nagtatago
beautiful
yung isa sa
players
tubig.
going head to head with one another. Akaratsi with that one, able to get that kill against Gigi.
Tago
Now for the
siya.
team of Mystic, Rogue will be the last player standing now for this bracket. Diab, we are now
Ay,
down to the
pucha,
last
ang
5
galing.
teams, and Ge doing a lot of damage, but Akaratsi able to get a kill against Ge of the 4 Kings. Akaratsi will be the last player standing for the team of Poison Ivy. This is going to be the moment of truth, the moment of gameplay. Game Yato eliminating Dre and Divine, and now that's going to be a wipeout. Blackfire Nash will be taken out, and the 4 Kings down to their 2 players, Tom Pips and Jeff, fighting on, and that's going to be 3 players left now. Rogue with a grenade, able to get their team. Tom and Jeff, both of them will be taken out by Mystic Rogue. 2 players left, 1v1 scenario. Mystic Rogue on this side, no idea, but Blackfire Red will be taken out because of that blue zone. And can you imagine? Team
Tago lang siya,
number 8.
guys.
Oh my goodness me, coming from our overseas team, your team Mystic will be the first team. They're gonna be the top 1, securing the first place.
Naubos
for
na
this
yung
bracket
por.
B. There you go, Dad. I'm glad I had you back
Nag-take
again. What are
advantage
your
siya.
thoughts
Sa
on
sausaw.
that one?
Nagsawsaw lang siya.
Mindset.
Ooh.
Mindset. That is what we saw with Mystic. As you can see, it was basically a 4v4, b3 situation.
Mhm.
Mystic decided just to lay low. They already need to secure themselves already for
Top
the
4.
top spot.
Mhm.
So with that aggressive playstyle, they just tried to get out of the situation. When it came to the top 2, top 3, then they already secured their spot. Get out of that the C, come up on top, and then engage already. And still, for some glorious reason, since Fire and 4K were dealing with each other, Mystic came in with the distance.
Daming kills
Look
ng
at that.
4K.
Daima and Rogue only with 4 frags but still manages to secure themselves at the top spot. That
Yeah.
is smart strategy gameplay, right? So you don't really have to be extremely aggressive with certain situations. You just have to
Mm-hmm.
survive, and when the
Mm-hmm.
time comes, you get your gunfights really, really well. And it really worked for Rogue and the rest of the team. Mystic securing our first place, Blackfire Esports securing second, and of course 4K with third, and Potato Aim Esports coming in at fourth.
There you have it. Now, of course, I want to hear the thoughts of our ladies,
Yun na naman.
Sharlene and Dogsy. What are their thoughts about what happened for this bracket? The Mystic
Grabe
came up, right?
yun!
There you go. Take it away,
Ang
ladies.
lala! Grabe yung naging nangyari. Gusto mo ikaw naman, Shar? Una?
Ako, grabe, parang hindi ko ma-process na talagang pinag-isipan mabuti nung last player sa Mystic yung dalaw
Yes.
niya.
I agree.
So,
Tama yung mindset, no?
Oo, mindset talaga. Kasi, biruin mo, naging favor din sa kanya na may chopper doon, pwede siya lumutang, pwede siya sumisid para,
Oo.
di ba, hindi siya makita ng kalaban. Kasi alam niya na medyo busy yung teams magbakbakan dun sa circle at magkuhaan kung ano ba yung tamang position. Pero, yun nga, like Dad said, when, nung dumating na yung time, saka siya nagpakita at tinake advantage niya na low na yung remaining teams.
Yes.
Kaya parang nag-number 1 sila yung number 1 ngayon, no? Number 1 sila sa bracket nila. Kaya parang, shucks, talagang minsan, pero syempre, congratulations din sa ibang mga nakapasok.
Yes.
Yung 4 Kings main naman talagang ang nangyari ay mukbang. Ang dami. Ang daming
gutom
kills.
ata sila.
Oh, ikaw,
Gutom.
Dogsy,
Gutom
ano
sila
masasabi
ngayon.
mo?
Parang gutom ngayon ang 4 Kings.
Oo.
Like, yung last game natin, yung 4 Kings Overload, yung 4 Kings main, talagang nagpapakitang gila sila sa pag-kill nila, di ba? Sa point system. Parang akala nila point system ata ngayon eh. Pero nakakatuwa yung Mystic. Nagulat nga ako na sabi nga natin, pwedeng maging top 1 talaga makapasok sa finals. Alam mo yun, medyo hindi natin, hindi familiar names.
Yeah.
Which, yun yung prove nila na, hello, nandito kami. At nagulat din kami. Actually, nasa class rin pala talaga. Yung para way manalo, no? Kasi, nung dulo, alam mo yung maliit na lang yung bilog, tas low na yung HP nila, dun siya nag-spotter.
Galing nga eh.
Kaya, ang galing. Ang ganda nun. Ang ganda talaga nun.
Ako, hangang-hanga talaga ako sa mga players na, parang, ang hirap kaya mag-isip habang naglalaro. Tapos, tinitignan mo pa yung mga kalaban.
Yes.
Diba? So, parang, sa akin, hinayaan niya, sige, maglaban kayo dyan. Maglaban kayo. So, ang iniisip niya na, saan ako pupunta after?
Tama.
So, parang,
Galing.
ang dami din namin natututunan. I'm sure yung viewers din are learning from these teams na naglalaro ngayon sa CG. And again, ito namang CG, Tito Codem, did this tournament para talaga ma-introduce din yung ibang teams para 'di ba mapakilala sila sa BR community. And ito
maka-establish sila ng names.
Yes, maka-establish sila ng names for themselves. Bigyan natin sila ng chance and ito na 'yon. Congratulations sa top 4 teams natin. Talagang tama lang, magbatak lang kayo para sa inyo talaga to. But yes, again, let's show the viewers our top 4 teams for bracket D.
There you have it for our top 4. Once again, placing first is your team, Mystic. Second place, your team of Blackfire. And third place naman, your 4 Kings main.
Amazing.
And fourth place would be your team, Paez. And again, I really agree with Sharlene and Dogsy with how well the team of Mystic execute that spotter, that cluster strike right on the timing, knowing that the 4 Kings and Blackfire is going head-to-head with one another. Zone is closing in. It's really, really small now, enough for the cluster strike to cover the entire area, giving it a playground to the players of Mystic, or especially Mystic Rogue.
Yeah, definitely, no. Initially, you would have thought it's gonna be a high ground advantage for any of those teams. They just have to
Mm.
find Rogue basically hiding in that shadows. But no, they were too busy dealing with each other already.
Ang
And then
lala nun
Rogue
nung
decided,
game na yun.
this is
Uy,
placement
minsan
point.
kailangan
So
ganun
you
ka.
just have to make sure that you
Mag-isip ka,
secure your top
mag-isip
4.
ka.
Once you
Self,
hit
pag
that one
nag-BBR
out,
ka,
unless
mag-isip
you're
ka.
forced to really engage, that's the only time he did and manages to even win that gunfight to the very end. So it's really a matter of just really knowing how well you need to play and the end game of your goal basically. In this case, placement points, secure your top spot. Managed to do both, and so congratulations. But for Four Kings, yeah, they are they informed?
Mukbang na.
Mukbang eh.
Oo.
Kaya nga eh.
Parang di sila
Bukas pa yun.
Di pa sila na-inform na top 4 lang. Parang ano sila eh, parang palong-palo talaga. Mainit eh,
Mainit.
Parang may mga gustong patunayan tong mga to. But again, congratulations to all the teams that made it so far sa finals natin. We are so excited kasi hindi na tayo halfway.
Oh,
Almost
we're down
done.
to 2 brackets na lang, di ba?
Yes, and for bracket A, B, C, D, E! Bracket E! Gamagari, Dan!
Almost there.
Sino po ba yung mga teams na aabangan natin?
For sure. So for our bracket E, we will be having the team of Astrum, DGA, F Esports, Team IG, Loyal Valor, Sigma Reborn Ghost, Tiro Anubis, Mystic Tucson Boys, AP Zenith, Fatalism Esports, Bida Esports, and the main team for team number 11. We also have Rise Reborn for team number 12, Team Spec, Team Ethereal Esports, Light Speed Light, and Dad.
Yes, Esports, Mystic Valiant, Quadro Alas Main, Potato Squad, IE Exodus, and of course, Unbothered Main GTX. Those are the members of our bracket E, our second to the last matchup for this evening. So I guess for this one, definitely Mystic is something that I want to
Ang
watch.
daming Mystic pala.
Oo.
No?
Yeah.
Uy, baka parang nagbabatak to nang hindi natin alam.
Oo. Kaya
Yeah.
nga eh. Amazing.
An
Mystic
interesting
with their
lineup
mystic
here
ways.
for tonight, for
Yep.
sure. But of course, a big shout out for the only Mindanao team here, DDT Main. So sila lang po yung taga Mindanao natin. And shout out po
Yes.
sa ating mga lahat. And of course, the rest, of course, here from the North and the West as well. So definitely interesting lineup again for Bracket E. No major names that we are very familiar with, but nevertheless, with the performance of Mystic earlier, we are definitely have our eyes set on the Mystic squad as well. But of course, this is also an opportunity for any of these squads to really show off with
Yes.
zero pressure from the big names of the BR industry. So they can definitely play even better, hopefully, and really show off what they can deliver for the finals by tomorrow.
Exactly. And I want to back up what Sharlene and Doxy mentioned earlier that again, this Community Gladiators is a platform for all of the other teams to shine up, raise up to the occasion, and have their name out into the Battlefield Royale. But here's the catch though. With what Four Kings has been doing and some other major clans, major names that we know, they're trying to make a statement that, hey, I know this is open, but we are the dominator. That's how I want to see it. That's how we're going to vision it because they're trying to secure their spot here and here, maybe from bracket C and bracket D. But now, Sharlene and Dogsy, again, me and Dad will take this away as
Yes.
we are about to start our bracket E.
Casters in 3, 2, and 1.
I missed that action, that take it away thing here. But yeah, that is still loading up. But ladies and gentlemen, our bracket is about to start, and let us see.
Best of luck to all of these teams. Yeah.
Right, even though that we don't have, let's say, the most major team names out on this bracket, I agree with that. This is a little bit less pressure to stand up, stand out, and shine the most as these teams will be battling once again with one another with just one round, one chance. Isn't that right, Dad?
Hindi pa ata tayo naririnig ni Dad.
There you go. Just a little bit of a hiccup right there, but no worries. Again, Community Gladiator Fortitude Royale. This is gonna be your bracket E, and we are now almost at the end of this round, at the end of this Gladiator. So again, Bracket E is on its way, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go. Going into the fight. Looks like that's gonna be coming from the south side, from the bottom side, all the way up to the snowy area, which is
Wow!
weapons,
Open yung new
Atarium,
vision,
armor,
no?
outpost, key.
Daming
There's a
loot
lot
dyan, men!
of key points. There's a lot of key locations for our teams and players if they want to be playing on the aggressive
Daming loot
side
dyan!
or probably going in just try to dominate with one another. There you go. The teams are now dropping in, and yes, we have a total of 20 teams managed to caught in.
Guys,
on
paalala nyo
this
na nga sa akin,
bracket.
bracket F na next. Please,
Trying to
remind
rock,
me.
just making sure that they'll be ready for the next engagements that they might be having. There's like some players here dropping in onto the pipeline, some of them dropping on the overgrown, some of them on the Sakura side, but we don't see any action just yet.
And here
Most of
we
our teams,
go.
most of our players are dropping it on a separate way, but we are seeing a few dropping in on the same spot, like Harbor, probably Sakura, and even more as we dig deeper. 74 players, 20 teams, and again, this is now bracket E. We are almost done on these playoffs. We have already
Intense
secured the
tayo
top
next
fours
season.
for
Oo,
bracket
mas
D,
maganda, mas madami.
C, B, and
For me,
A. Now down to bracket E. The question once again, were we gonna be
talaga,
able to
guys,
see some
minsan.
passive-aggressive, or is it gonna be much more aggressive this time around? However, just facing on the first few minutes of this round, we don't see any action just yet. Killfield is silent. We don't hear any gunshots. All of them minding their own business, trying to survive, trying to get a hold of those loots, maybe some wild cards even more to have them ready for the battle. But speaking of battle, here we go. Team number 2, your team, DGI. Look at this, only playing on a duo scenario. It's gonna be Dyle and Vink
hindi
playing on a
nakapasok.
duo versus squad. This is a very disadvantageous number count for them, and they are being pushed by a full squad power. Both of them great with a broken armor. Dyle will be taken out by Bida Uno. Vink will be the last player standing, but Vink will be taken out by Bida Jai. So your team number 10, your Bida Esports, will be the Bida so far from that engagement. That's gonna be 2 kills now for them, and that's
Bida,
gonna be
ang
one
saya.
last competition. That's gonna be the first team to be wiped out. We are now down to 19 teams for this round of this bracket A. Going to the side of the team loyal, we have WK, Stan, and Kush just securing the high ground. It looks like they're trying to play it safe. I don't see any other colors. There's no other teams. There's no other players around, but they're trying to play it safe because obviously they do not know that. They are still unsure if there's going to be someone around the area because there's no means for them
The safe zone is
to
collapsing.
know that. Unless they have a scout class, but think they don't. Oh, look at this. Remy is busy dealing with George. And you might be asking, who's George? George is that guy right there. And George is really responsible, right, for getting the wild cards exchange or those trade cards exchange.
Ito ay,
Because
magaling
yes, you can trade your wild
Ilang
cards
beses
to
na
the
to nakasali?
NPC or to George and have
Literal
that
na
switch
kami talaga.
up for a better one, even if that is the better one. Going to the side of the team of On Butter One, 19 teams now for their team. 73 players coming in along, and now they're trying to get busy, trying to get some guns or trying to get some loot up coming from that floating system. And now Coke, oh, that's gonna be a violet wild card right there. But again, no action just yet.
It's still a very quiet setup here for bracket E, I guess. For the initial setup, we just lost one squad at the first few minutes of our match. But nevertheless, I guess the technique for some of these squads right now is definitely just about survival. I think they already saw how other squads did it in the first few brackets. So they're just trying to just survive at this point, make sure that they have all the necessary loots during that entire gunfight and just hold themselves off until the very end. So I guess this is what we're going to expect for the next 2 brackets over the next few minutes. But of course, with the zone, again, favoring a different setup here. So their strategy must definitely change as they go along and depending on how things progress throughout the evening, as we of course have here SGM. Still very quiet for this one. Not much of an engagement from their end as well. They have the entire new vision Vision City to themselves. So that's gonna be a significant advantage for them. Although Loyal is actually just above this helicopter area. So the goal, if Loyal is that bold enough to engage, but I guess not yet because from how their current lineup is, I do not wish to engage with any opponents at this game because of how
Ang dami yung kalat
what the
to,
equipment
guys.
that they have. It's not
Tingnan
even
mo.
their classes are not yet even upgraded.
Kalat na kalat.
They're barely using any good weapons. So, perhaps hold off until the very end that they would need to deal with that other squad, or perhaps just if they leave, that's the only time they're gonna go. I don't know. But for the rest, as you can see from the map, most of them still outside the zone. It's still gonna be early in the game, so we'll see more perhaps of the action later on tonight.
Yes.
And I
Masyadong
agree
kalat
because
yung
probably
teams
once the team Loyal ensure that this player from SGM or Sigma Reborn is just solo down there, probably the team Loyal will go for an aggressive play. But yes, they can hear a footstep, but still unsure if this is just a solo player for the team of Sigma Reborn. They don't know that because again, this is not your regular rank game. This is a tournament. This is the competition.
GG!
Oh my goodness, with zero right off into the net. Surprise! Surprise!
It's a
Coming from
trap!
Loyal Stud. We are just talking about using Reborn Zero. We are just talking about the chance of survivability. Looks like the cat got my tongue. And with that said, oh my goodness, the team Loyal will be feeding. It's gonna be a feast for them. Surprising that player. And oh my, I can only imagine that. I can only imagine how much of a surprise that is for that player. Because he is just looting up, right? Looting up the place. No footstep, no visual indicators from the opposing player around. And once he got to that upper void, trying to get a chopper, surprise, Team Loyal is here for ya.
That was so anticlimactic. I mean, what are the odds? What were the odds?
Tama.
He would just try to check out the loot. When he came out there, Loyal was there, just surprised as well of what happened. But obviously, they had to defend themselves, and that 4v1 situation definitely favoring Loyal at that point. So, but nevertheless, that is still 19 out of the 20 squads. So that means the rest
madami
of
pa.
the SGM is still good, so they can still definitely revive perhaps their teammate there. So for now, I think for the rest of the squads, it's still gonna be a zone play for most of them at this point. So they've already seen how well this technique works. Perhaps since they know that again, it's about placement. They have, I guess, definitely those airborne classes are gonna put them in a better situation, at least to traverse the entire field, regardless of whether or not they're outside of the zone or if they have any vehicles in play at this point. So far, so good. Still very quiet setup for any of these squads. I guess for the zone is gonna be favoring a little bit on the south side of the map a little bit, but Unbothered Esports making their presence felt against DDT and manages to shut down one member right there. Meanwhile, Puya trying to get out of the situation. Perhaps same thing with Tuhog, trying to just drive away here, perhaps not engaging for now on any of the opponents, at least to make sure that they have that opportunity to really survive this one and of course secure their position later on in the game.
Exactly. Security is really your best way to go on surviving these kinds of tournaments, especially for placement, especially for placing only. And I still can't, kind of move on that surprise attack kind from Team Loyal. That is really funny. Just talking about the fact that we are talking about the survivability, but then again, caught off guard, surprised by a 4-man player. But moving forward, AXP versus LSL is maybe something we need to look out for. Knowing the
Advantage
zone
yun nasa taas.
is already closing in and they need to be worried.
Pero
They
dapat abangan
need to be
nila yan.
careful because 30 seconds left before the zone close in and looks like 7 already caught the glimpse of that. And now moving on,
Maganda abangan.
using that zip line to a better spot. While the team AXP, luckily for them, they have an airborne class that they can trust and use on moving on to the next island. 19 teams are still around and kicking. Oh, there you go. Team Cuadro Alas versus Tero is having a gunfight on their own with that SMRS kicking up, but also looking at the side of your team number 16, your Yaz Esports.
Walang
Still in a
naka-ninja
full
ngayon, no?
squad power. Looks like every one of them is wearing the same operator.
Walang
I think that's
naka-ninja
which
ngayon.
one, I'm not sure, but there's 2 of them wearing that operator, wearing that character. going to the side of the Team Tero. Misdirection coming to the player, and Kazuha is already knocked down, being challenged by an opposing team. But now Yup is on the run, trying to survive shots coming in. Sharky will able to finish out Kazuha with an SMRS, and now the Team KA pushing forward. A little bit of a dance right there, and Sharky really being a shark, able to get that another kill for himself. Taka will be taken out. Quadro Alas and Tero
Baby
Rio
shark.
will be knocked down because of that zone. So with that said, Quadro Alas still on a full squad power, while the Team
GG,
Tero is
nantok
now
na ako.
down to their last remaining player.
Nasasabaw na ako, babe.
Definitely for
Paano
Tero,
kaya pag
they
tinanong
still have an
ako mamaya,
opportunity to
what
at least
can you
get
say
the
about the
rest of
game?
the team. But
Shucks, is
I
this
guess
is this an exam?
that's gonna be a difficult situation for them, knowing
Is
that
this an
Patrolas
exam?
is just that in that area. But nevertheless, here AXP
Oo, may
here,
iba talaga yung
perhaps
laro pag-
spotting someone
kapag
as
may
well.
placing
I guess they're
point.
trying to
Ay, may
secure their
pointing
situation
system.
for now. Still gonna be a quiet setup for them. Not much of an engagement for anyone far within their range, but definitely hearing a bit of gunfights here and there. But that's something that they should not really worry about for now. Nevertheless, here DDT Kuya X again still alive here, manages to kind of dog tags already, but spotted. Perhaps needing to deal with Unbothered here from the other side. Ooh, that's gonna be a big situation right now for him. But of course, still gonna be a quiet situation as most of them are still far off already. So no issue for him. Still gonna be a peaceful night as we check in the map right now. This one is rather interesting because we only have like 1, 2, 3, 4 squads outside of the zone. The rest are basically coming in already. Definitely for squad letter K and L, definitely securing themselves already within the pipeline area, at least within the zone. That's the goal here already. And Unbothered, shutting down Kuya X, the solo player earlier, managing to find him already and taking out his gear and all those wild cards as well. So good job there for Unbothered. Meanwhile, coming here for PS, still 4-man stack, 2 upgrades for their end. Quiet zone, but this interesting here is I'm sure most of the squads will be coming in soon already, so I guess they're positioning themselves for that engagement later on tonight.
Engagement. 17 teams and approaching at least the final demise of this zone. Down to our third zone with 1 minute on the clock
may
before we
mistake na
push
naman,
on to the final moments of our bracket
watch nyo lang si
here. However,
Chloe.
Team Immortal Esports,
her.
Remy, Glue, Rinka, and Hasbula still on a full
Inaantok
squad
na
power.
yan
They
eh.
don't have any kills just yet, but they have a favorable high ground that they can use
Favorable
for
high
themselves.
ground.
Whilst the team of PS is also
Favorable.
being holed up here on their
Gamit
very
ang
own
airborne
house, and that's gonna be the same
Sim.
scenario for the team of Mystic. But there you go, SGM0
Oh my
will be taken out by
gosh.
Glue of the team IE. That's a good aim, that's a good
Ay,
burst,
talaga.
and now securing that kill. Just
Kapag may
like
tuloy-tuloy
so.
placing nito,
Still,
kaya
your
nito
team of
pumalag sa
IE
mga
have
pro.
a high ground
Pro,
advantage, and
like
now the
mga
team of
magiging
Mystic
pro tournament.
is going in for the move on and
Pro,
try to
ano natin,
reposition,
kung magkaroon
knowing
tayo
that they
ng
heard
arena
gunshots, a
survivors
chopper
or
broke
players.
down, a player
Kaya
got
nila.
out. So they need to be
Ilan na
cautious
yun eh?
and they need to be careful
Pangatlo
how
na
they
to.
traverse again
Chip
these
terminal is
lands.
almost ready.
63 players and 17 teams for this bracket here,
So,
and
Mystic
still a lot
kompleto
of
pa.
action might unfold
Nakayuyo ko,
as we
nakakrouch-crouch
proceed
naman,
on
ah.
this bracket.
Oh,
Definitely a smart gameplay there for Mystic. Normally for some, perhaps, if we're coming in for kill points, you would have to engage that opponent earlier from the high ground already. But of course, knowing that the firepower that they may be carrying, and at the same time, this is a placement setup. So might as well just secure yourself first. Do not engage
What's up,
when it's not
Jay?
necessary. So for Mystic,
Go,
that was still a good setup for them. It's not necessary to
Hindi
engage from
maganda
any
yung
one of
possible.
those opponents that they just heard earlier. Meanwhile, for the rest of the squads, push through coming in already to the zone. It is gonna get a little bit crazier, and that zone will hurt a little bit more now as we're approaching the last few minutes of our game here. High ground advantage is gonna be a key here at the pipeline. It looks like gonna be an engagement here from Kairi, shutting down Hiroshi here. Will not survive, unfortunately. Good landing right there, but there's still one more from the side of SGM there. Kairi perhaps just looking for that one more player here, but they will not risk it just yet. High ground is there, but they're wide open from the mountaintop, perhaps. 9 from the push. Still not visible from the side of APE here. Alice is on the other end. So this is gonna be an interesting situation. 4v1 situation. Zone coming in. What do you do at this point?
Oh my goodness me, what you do will be the denominator of what will happen next. So, here's the point here. Bracket E is much more of a passive aggressive side. They see someone, they shoot. They don't see someone, they hold. And it's not just about moment of chase. Yes, they will see someone, they will shoot, but they're not going to be really going after it. They're not really going to go for the chase and just trying to, let's say, secure the position and then the land that they have. And now, Mystic, Rafa, being Raf there, able to get some kill. Mystic and TRS have some engagement, while the team of Bida and Anbo is also unfolding with one another. 7 going in for some shots, doing some damage to Reyna, but not enough to take any kill. And for the team LSL, they're playing on a trio versus squad scenario, while Remy of the team IE will also be challenging the players of the team Mystique on their side. And look at that, it's some airborne Mystique up in the sky, probably going in for some safe play, but Atan will be taking out Remy with some 3 kills right there. That is one good of an engagement coming from the team IE. Glue and Remy just racking up the kills for the sake of their team and trying to do some damage and lessen up the competition as we proceed for days of bracket E. Now 7 still on that side. IE is still on a full squad power. Remy Glurinka has Bula now on the move to probably secure a different high ground, but that high ground is being conquered by the team LSL. So they will be contesting, they will be competing for that high ground. While the team APE do have a favorable high ground on their own, even though they just have a a little to no landmass. They need to be careful because grenade, SMRS, or anything along the side can do a lot of damage to their team. While Remy of the team IE is now doing significant damage against the team LSL, and now they are being forced to push down of that mountain, while the team IE reclaim that high ground for themselves.
High ground advantage is gonna be interesting here. For AP, yeah, you're correct. They may have high ground advantage, but that's an open high ground. You could just need them out to existence and they're gonna be over soon. They won't be able to do anything, and when they drop, that's gonna be a kill for you. So for those who are on the low ground setup here, the goal here probably is find your respective houses or perhaps your respective buildings or your mountain sides that you can hide from or at least secure yourselves in. But that loot crate here is very, very tempting, but I'm sure it's gonna be an open field for anybody who tries to go into that area. But right now, 12 squads remain. Everybody here within this area already. So you can see everyone's almost playing zone here. Those needs coming in already. And then Unbothered trying to fire away from up top. Could not connect just yet. That's gonna be a high situation. But of course, KA here also dealing with somebody else. Mystic dealing with another one. Unbothered joining in the fun right now, and they're just shooting up left, right, and center. Unbothered surviving in that engagement against Mystic. And now we're down to our final 11. Unbothered a little bit spread out. AP will not be giving out their advantage, but of course, for the rest of the crew that are downstairs, they may need to fight off already, at least for survival.
Final zone, Dad, and ladies and gentlemen, with still 10 teams alive, it's gonna be nasty, y'all. KA Breaker doing a lot of damage. Yaja Chan getting that kill against Rice Lay. It's gonna be a total chaos. It's gonna be a back-to-back action. We are seeing a lot of players being knocked down against one another. It's a back-to-back gameplay coming from all of these teams. And again, this is the beauty of Battle Royale. A lot of action may unfold on different locations of the map. And it's really up to them how well they'll be able to survive until the bitter end. And now Josh getting a kill against Ruiz and Totalic. Your team Rise is challenging the team AXP, while the team of Quadro, alas, Breaker will be the last player standing now, and Rise played safe right there, but Breaker will be taken out because of that blue zone. Kyrie able to take out Kai of the team on, but with that SMRS, Stan will be taken out. It's a total chaos. It's a total annihilation now coming from our team's employer, IE, still in a full squad power. And so far, basing on what I can see, what we can see, your team Immortal Esports, team number 20, is wrapping up the play. They're dominating the lobby. Every action that comes in, they take it as it is. 5 teams left now. Rise Alia getting that kill against Loyal W. Remy, another one eliminating SGM Ali for that side. Bida also being onto the side on action. Remy now going into the side.
Uy,
And the
ang
team
tindi
of
nung nasa
APE
taas.
still have that high ground control for themselves.
IE definitely showing off tonight, really making sure to win all of those engagements. Meanwhile, Unbothered doing in the same as well. They will definitely be forced to engage with each other. Kyrie and the rest of the crew
Tinitignan niya, alam
will
niya may
need
tao
to
dun sa
give
taas.
up that advantage later on because that zone is
Kailangan
closing
nila
in already. But
mag-advance.
somehow, some way, APE still have their luck against their sides. They will not get
Ay,
out, but of
shit.
course, they are
Ay,
forced
sorry
out to
sa
get
ano,
jump in. IE and Unbothered. It's gonna be a pinch in the 3v3 situation. They are getting pummeled right now, but the landing is still good. Sticking the landing, high ground advantage still for APE. It's gonna be Unbothered and IE dealing with each other down low.
Nay.
Blue and Ashabula shutting down
Two
Unbothered. Green
versus
and
three.
Emerald. Of course, APE coming in for the
Ay,
pinch, coming in for the
lamang,
backstab.
meron
Can they finish this one off? And they
Lamang.
managed to do so. What on earth is that? A matchup?
And we have a winner. Team number 20, Immortal Esports Exodus, will bang that one out straight from the bucket. That is one good gameplay right there. IE proves their dominance, let's say, around the mid section of the match, mid section of the game. That's where they started, popping out, doing some damage, doing some kills, and from there, it continues on. What an amazing play, Dad.
Definitely an amazing play. I mean, to the very end, somehow, IE Exodus survives that initial surprise attack and just wins their gunfight perfectly, securing the first place. And of course, for APE, really smart play there. Luck was definitely on their side. All they had to do was hold on to their tower till the very end, engage with Unbothered and IE if and when it was only necessary. And then, of course, Unbothered really being an aggressive team as well. Look at that numbers for their frags. Same thing with the XP as our fourth place. So what a interesting bracket E here. Very end, major engagements, but of course, at least for these four teams, that's a secured spot for the finals.
Secured spot it is. IE really made sure of that, really made sure of securing that spot by being aggressive and again trying to menace down the players or the teams that they are be competing with. But of course, again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear the thoughts of our ladies, Sharlene and Doxy. So, okay, this time I'll go with Doxy. What are your thoughts from that spot?
Whew! Ang galing nun na naman. Grabe yung APE kasi sila talaga yung tinitignan ko kanina during the game. Ang ganda kasi ng pwesto nila. But, Dad said na open high ground.
Open high ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pero, up until the end, walang nakaabot sa kanila. Even may nag-airborne, walang nakaabot sa kanila doon. And, though, yung IE, which is the top one, ever since start of the game, talagang sila, aggressive.
Palo.
At prove nila na wala sa positioning yan. Nandito yan sa tutok. So, alam niyo yun, ang galing ng, kumbaga, iba't ibang lakas ng teams. Bawat isa, merong, ang strength nila, magandang position. Yung strength ng iba, tutok. Yung strength ng iba, diskarte. So, ang galing. Ang dami namin natututunan dito, ha?
Oo, in fairness. Kaso
Yes.
yung feeling ko ngayon, para ako nag-e-exam, tapos parang kailangan ko i-analyze talaga yung laro.
Oo.
Tapos naisip ko, hindi naman kami shoutcaster. Joke lang.
Kaya ka!
Joke lang. I'm just kidding, guys. But, ang masasabi ko lang dun sa last game natin sa bracket ABCD. Dun sa bracket E, ang nasa tamang timing talaga minsan rin yung pagbaba kung nasa magandang pwesto ka eh. Kasi swertihan din talaga sa zone. Parang if may magandang luck ka sa zone, ay hindi mo na kailangan bumaba. Kaso when it comes sa nangyari sa sa anong team to? APE. Pagbaba nila, sabi ko, shucks, baka kapusin.
Yep.
Baka kapusin,
okay.
baka handa na lahat pagbaba nila. Kaya sila nalagasan ng 2 players. And ito namang IE, saktong-sakto yung players na natira sa kanila. Kasi sila yung natira sa last zone. Sabi ko, shucks, tamang-tama yung pagbaba ng medic sa last zone. Tamang-tama. And again, now, let's check out yung top 4 teams natin for bracket E.
There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, for your bracket here, of course, coming up top is your Immortal Esports, followed by your top two, APEZ, top three naman, which is your unbuttered main GTX, and top four, your AXPA. Both or all of these teams are now proceeding to the grand finals of this community gladiators that's gonna be happening tomorrow night again 7 p.m. PH time.
There you go. That means 5 brackets down, one more to go. We are all set for bracket F.
Who's there?
Yes. One more squad. And of course, that's going to be our final game for this evening in just a bit. But before we proceed, of course, to our final bracket, again, a bit of a briefer lang for the last 5 brackets that we've seen. Actually, we've managed to really see how different strategies work for any of these squads. Especially for those, yes, sabi nga, it's either discarte, a bit of luck, really your tutok, your gun skills, and of course, the way you utilize your classes. It's all those mix. It's very critical to winning your battle royale gunfights in any situation. So all of these things you have to really consider, especially coming into the finals tomorrow, where of course we're gonna have more matches for these squads, plus a bit of a difference in how we select our winners for sure.
Agreed, agreed. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, of course, let's talk about who are the teams that are going to be playing for the final bracket. This is the last round, the huling hira, the huling bira of our teams and players. We have 247 Bisdak, 1 on-time cards, T7 Deadly Sins, Revenger Squad V1 Dream, TMW Assassin Main, DES Nightmare, Window Office, NRG Saya, ABG Bangiz, Mysterious
Nakamute pala ako.
Visayas, 4 Emperors, Team Bulabog, Euro Atrium, Euro Excelsior, Rasdad,
LE Rain, APE, Blacklist King, Inagunid Team 3, Raging Demons, Leap and Bound, and 4K Joker.
Oh, there you go. Dogsy, Sharlene, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing some prominent names, some prominent clans, prominent teams on this last round. And this is really the way to end the first playoff.
Yes, we are so excited for bracket A, B, C, D, E, F.
EF,
Yes!
our 6th bracket and last
Our
bracket.
final bracket for tonight. And again, advance congratulations kung sino man ang makakapasok dito sa finals. But again, we are so excited for tomorrow. Guys, if you have time, kung tapos na ang family time, family dinner ninyo, please do drop by sa aming mga live streams tomorrow. 7 p.m. po ang finals ng Community Gladiators. Yes.
Naka-live po kami sa aming TikTok accounts. Naka-live rin ang mga players. And we are live sa Garena page, sa Blue App, and sa YouTube.
Yes, hello to everyone who's watching from YouTube as well. Sa
Yes.
lahat ng nanonood from the Philippines. To everyone who's watching on Singapore and Malaysia also.
Malaysia.
Good evening, guys! Hi!
Yay!
Thank you for joining our Community Gladiators live stream. For now, Gamagori and Dad, take it away.
There you go. Yeah, I missed that. Thank you, ladies. Now, getting back into the action. Now, Dad, knowing that the Four Kings dominated like the lobbies that they had, Four Kings Joker is now at play. So let's see if Four Kings Joker will be able to live up to the name, live up to the expectation. And also, another pressuring point here is the players of the Leap and Bound. Knowing that the Leap main fell off a little bit short when it comes to their bracket, it's really up to the Leap and Bound to carry the banner of the Leap Esports.
For sure, no? I guess for Leap and Bound, yeah, definitely pressures on. Same thing with 4K Joker as well. I mean, 4K main manages to secure themselves. The 4K Overlord managed to secure their top spot. And of course, for 4K Joker, hopefully they get to do that as well. But of course, they would need to deal with 21 squads who are also as hungry as they are to secure the slot for the finals. For Leap and Bound, yeah, I guess a little bit more pressure for them since they have to represent for their team. Same thing for the rest of the squads, but I'm actually interested perhaps for Blacklist Kings, or I believe this will be the first time that I'll be encountering them. But for the rest, new names here and there. But of course, hopefully, we get to see another significant squad that will pop off and perhaps surprise us as well with their interesting strategies, much like what we've seen with Bracket E earlier tonight. So that is something that we are excited to see with our final bracket for
Yes,
tonight
let's
as
get it rolling.
we begin,
Let's
of course,
get it
bracket F rather, for our Community Gladiators Fortitude Battery Out Tournament. So as you say, brother, and here we go.
You
Guys,
have it again,
alam mo
Community
kasi,
Gladiators,
yung mga
Fortitude
time
Royale,
based sa
down
tapos
to the
ko,
final
hindi po kasi
game,
pwede na
final
hindi
bracket,
po
and final
pare-parehas
round
na 10
of
minutes yung
this
waiting time.
And ladies and
for
gentlemen,
this
good evening,
one.
good morning, good
Kailangan
afternoon,
sabay-sabay.
depending on where you are.
Nakalagay
We are
nga
now
dito
witnessing
na,
the final touch of this Community Gladiators
ma-adjust
for
pa yung
the
time
playoffs.
talaga.
And now, teams and
So,
players
kalma lang,
are
guys.
joining in
Please,
now. So
kalma
we can
lang
see a
po.
few of them going in for the snowy area, like Outpost, Frigid Wasteland, and so on. Some of them dropping on T3 Refinery,
Huwag po masyado
Research,
mainit,
stand up
guys.
probably, Block Market,
Kung magaling yung
downtown,
team nyo,
and
huwag
the
masyado
list
mainit,
goes
okay?
on. So yes,
Kalma lang.
we are just highlighting the possibility coming from the main teams. However, we do not want to underestimate the other teams who managed to join in, because again, these teams, all of them, have already qualified for the playoffs. So yes, they do have what it takes to perform or maybe outperform the other teams. And the team of Euro will give us the first bloods of the evening. Lou and Dre able to pick up 2 kills from their side. On the side of the team Onbu, just looting up the place on their friend. And the team of Euro here, team number 13, with the 2 kills for themselves.
Good setup right there for Euro. And now, of course, I guess one thing that we have to point out is that high ground for the zone here is favoring the north side, while most of the squads are way down south. So it's gonna be a long travel for most of these squads, really, to put themselves in, a better position perhaps. But of course, that's gonna also give them the opportunity to loot more areas, find more equipment that they may need, and hopefully, secure themselves that necessary equipment and that wild card if they're looking for one, so that when the time comes that they need to go for that engagement, that they're all ready for that fight. But for now, it's gonna be a little bit quiet for the initial lineup here. 20 squads to remain. RD here, perhaps just trying to make their presence a little bit safer, as 4 Kings just around the corner. And of course, Negi and the rest of the crew here, high ground advantage right in that building. But of course, for Brani here, definitely setting up some communication for the rest of the team, just to make sure that they have that. But Takasa and Negi firing from down low already. The pinch might coming from Brani from that building in just a matter of time. But of course, Marisu also on the other end, Akasa with a sniper at hand, just trying to find a spot. Negi as well, doing as well. Through and through with the wall. Could not connect just yet. Not just yet, but the open round for Rads. He's gonna get knocked out already. And of course, that one is good. Good finish already. Park right there at top will not engage just yet. Perhaps put themselves in a different building would be a better position for him. But of course, for the rest of RD here, just trying to survive here and not be in the way of 4 Kings. But is that gonna be the good strategy here? Let's see here. But of course, someone firing in at Prani here from outside. Pero mukhang okay pa din. So far, so good. Aiden making, and the rest of the crew surviving and thriving as 4 Kings try to go for the pinch and take their tires quiet out.
There you go. It's a little bit of a back-to-back action here. They're trying to test each other out. They don't want to go for a full aggressive play. Instead, they go for pickups. They're trying to pick one down, and from there, it really depends on what's going to be the action of the opposing team. On that aggressiveness of the team 4 Kings Joker is showing to them. Smokes coming in, and Renzu still have that high ground, listening to the footsteps probably, and communicating that, of course, across to his teammates. While Brani will be securing a different spot. Good aim, good damage, but the opposing player did a lot of damage in return to Brani, forcing Brani to go down, and heal up with some armor plates while the team of RD is still holding up on their team. Now we will get back to that action. Meanwhile, Team MH, team number 12 is again just looting up, making sure they're ready, going to the side again of the team RD because this is where the action is unfolding, isn't it? Smokes into the play. The team of RD, team number 19, your raging demon will not be raging that much. They're holding up their area. They're holding up this house, making sure it's not going to be penetrated by the team of Four Kings, while the team Four Kings have it surrounded already. Someone covering the high ground, someone directly on top of them, someone from the left and right side, making sure that they lock down this vicinity, this entire building for themselves. But looks like there's a different team that might be joining in. I can see the players of the
Road
team.
to 500K,
Is that right?
guys.
Maybe trying to go in engagement on this side.
May
Just
taga na 4K.
maybe, really. Now, on the side of TMW and 247, they're having some
Sino-sino
engagement
ba
as
to?
well.
Sila Negi?
From their side, going head-to-head with one another, while the team here of RD just trying to play it safe. Going to the side of the team unbothered, still on a full squad power, but Raul is probably playing for a pickup and just trying to play it safe while waiting for the others to communicate. And there you go, Raul, back to the play, back to the action. We are now
Naglalag
still
ata siya.
68 players and still 20 teams. There's no team that have been wiped out just yet. All of them are still alive and standing, waiting for their chance. And again, the zone is closing in.
This is gonna be a little bit more difficult and challenging as we start. The entire zone is actually shrinking already. So if worst comes to worst, we're gonna be seeing at least 10 to 15 squads ready for the final zone, which is gonna be an absolute chaos. So at this point, for most of these squads,
Actually, mas mahirap
either
yung
you
madami.
Try to start eliminating others' opponents already
mas
at
mahirap
early in
yung
the game, or
konti
at
yung
least, you know,
pasok sa labia.
be smart about your engagement. And now Akasa trying to push this one through. Coming in from the backstab, it connects right there. The second kill is good. The third one in the finish. Four Kings that basically shutting down RD there already. And that long wait paid off. Meanwhile, Euro trying to shut down their opponents as well. And that's LE from the other side. Mocha trying to go in, firing at the other end of Den. Trying to connect. Could not finish up just yet. But nevertheless, Boyax needs a bit of assistance right now as a shot will be coming back into the game here. But of course, that's Mocher trying to survive for this one. Still no squad wipes so far. A bit of engagements here and there, but still everyone still alive and kicking as that zone shrinks even smaller by the minute.
Lugi kasi
There
pag
you go,
oonti
by
yung
the
players,
minute,
tapos
and every
nagkita-kita kayo
minute
sa
is
last
really
zone.
important
Kalaban mo
because
madami
what
na,
happened there
kasi
is
nagtatago
that
lahat kayo.
Zone closes in,
Tapos,
players are traversing
yung
the
zone
lines
pa.
and they
Ang
get an
kati
eye
ng
to
zone
one
na.
another, and immediately a gunfight broke through. So every minute
Grabe,
matters
ang lala.
really, and it really depends now how fast they can react.
Ang lala, ang
on
daming
what's
wala sa
happening
zone.
around them. Yes,
Hindi
given
nila
the fact that
na-anticipate.
these teams are, already
Tambay sila.
accustomed to the feelings of tournaments, a
Ang tatapang
scrimmage,
nitong
or
mga to.
battle royals in itself, it's still really different if you add the fact that this is a major tournament. Going into the side, still now the 19 teams, and the Team RS is now trying to make their way inside of the zone. While the Team Euro have that high ground advantage, Nora will take a kill against a run of the Team WO by destroying the vehicle they've been putting on. And now, the Team Euro, that's giving the chance for them to play a little bit of aggressive, and Aaron will be confirmed by Nora.
Guys, pag gusto nyo manood
on
dun
that
sa
spot.
Blue
While
Up or
the
sa
rest of the
YT,
Team
dun
Euro
malinaw,
now is
promise.
trying to make a little bit of a push, while the rest of the players of WO waiting for their chance. But now, push Shockwave into that play. A little bit of a dancing around. Yena will be taken out. Trey will be taken out with that shotgun from Yena with that one tap, but with that PDW. Nora
ang ganda ng
will be able
pwesto.
to answer back, able to get those kills, and
Ang ganda ng
really,
pwesto.
really exciting plays. And Euro
Ayun na.
will wipe out the team of WO. That is one good of engagement coming from your team number 13, your
Isang
Euro
murot-murot pa, no?
Ethereum.
Euro Ethereum definitely working to their advantage at that surprise engagement.
Ganda ng
I believe
pwesto.
W was not really ready for that initial setup. They were definitely winning their gunfights and finishing off at least one squad already. That's gonna put them in a better situation for
Nalaya,
sure.
no?
And that's a bit of a
Parang asa ng
preview
Guardian
when we
Angel.
switch, of course, to the finals if they manage to secure their slot as well. 18 squads still remain this time. RS Benz trying to just perhaps find better loot. Meanwhile, trying to avoid those 2 squads on the other side of this area here at standoff, basically. So, you don't want to engage just yet, perhaps, especially at this close to the game where still we have 59 players remaining and 18 squads still alive here.
There's still a good amount of number, still a lot of players standing, and the 4Kings now securing a solid 6 kills for themselves, and now trying to move forward inside of the zone while also getting their hands on that upgrade chip for their classes. Now again, 59 players. Hold on, what's going on? Unbonded Orochi with a frag grenade just annihilated Branny from that scenario. That is a one good timing of a grenade while basic will be taken out because of the blue zone, and this is not really looking good for the team Unbo. And what is the price to pay? That is the price to pay. So yes, they managed to get a kill. They managed to get a kill, but this is not a pointing system where kill counts matter. They need to be wise and survive until the bitter end. But sadly, Team Unbuttered won't be able to make it inside of the zone. And now, Team Euro joining the action. They have the rally car, 4-man player inside, and they might be engaging against the teams around the area. That's going to be Team LE. Negi also getting some kills. Shot will be taken out. Boyax able to get that kill against Osaka of the Team LE. Going in for the follow-up. Mocha able to eliminate Mikkel of that medic class of the opposing player. While Renzu is also answering back against Euro Lu on their side. But for now, team number 14, the team of Euro Excelor with a solid 7 kills now for their team. That's going to be Euro Excelsior.
Good setup right there for Euro. A really good setup and surprise attack coming in, and they're also dealing with another Euro team here. They're just really trying to go for the push as well. As you can see, some of the squads are still outside of the zone, way far out for some of them. But of course, I hopefully know what they're doing and how much of a risk they're working on right now as they're staying outside of the zone. That's going to be putting them in a bigger damage setup, basically, which hopefully they can still recuperate with their respective medical class. But for now, we are down to our 16 squads at this evening. TNC, Tanggol here, and the rest of the crew still alive and kicking, still very quiet. But of course, I guess just staying out of trouble for now. Speaking of trouble, Euro and the rest of the team dealing with MH here, fighting away with the vehicle gameplay here. Chase and gunfights is the play of the game for these two. They're just trying to make sure that both get into the zone and fight as well. Meanwhile, Misty trying to shut down this time. TNC manages to shut down one member there, and Sage just at the other end. Perhaps Misty will not be engaging because of the crew have eyes set on AP way down at the other side of that map right now. But of course, TNC, I'm back here, medyo trying to just stay out of trouble for now as they realize two squads is what they need to deal with. For APE, it's just basically down to one player, so this is not going to be a good situation for him, for sure.
Guys,
that's for sure. And surprisingly, for our last bracket, even though we are down to the 3rd zone, we are now down to 15 teams. Unlike the previous brackets, right? On the 3rd zone, we're still around 20, right? Around 20 or 18. But this time, it's just a little pinch of aggressiveness coming from the players here. And they're trying to roam around. Especially, I'm gonna give it a huge shit. Especially on 4Kings and Euro, cleaning up some aisles and cleaning up some teams, lessing up the competition as the final zone approaches. Now we are down to 47 players and 15 teams. M as a TY or Mystic here, just trying to hold up, making sure that they have that high ground control. Rose is just trying to play it safe a little bit like so.
Guys, paano ko ba hindi sabaw sa next question sa akin mamaya na how's the team?
With one another. Like, how's
the gameplay for
look at that
you?
aim.
Ano
Oh my
sasabihin
goodness,
ko?
Rose, that is one good of an aim with that AK. And PNC Sage will be taken out. Now for the team of PNC, team number 11 down to their 2 players standing. Let's see how well they'll be able to perform, and let's see if they're gonna be playing for aggressive one or just get the dog tags, have them scanned for the next 3. They have a medic class being played here, and on the side of the team MH playing this on a trio versus squad scenario. Little bit of a rally car, just roaming around the map, maybe trying to find more opponents or more loots that they can get, or just maybe trying to survive just by driving around the map. And surprisingly, these final zones is going to be a little bit open on the snowy area, giving advantage to those players that got their hands on that snowboard. So this is going to be a little bit of advantageous for their side, knowing it's going to be the snowy area. While the team of Four Kings now securing a little bit of a high ground, and they have amassed a solid 8 kills with them, and now just trying to traverse this
oras na
snowy
lang kaya
lands.
mo. Guys,
This is
salamat sa
gonna be
mga
an
nag-cheer
interesting
sa akin.
situation
Kahit
here.
hindi ako
15
kasama sa
squads,
tour
this
na.
small of
Maraming
a map,
salamat sa inyo.
almost open ground advantage. I guess this is where things can get ugly for some of these squads. As you can see here, most of them were gonna end up here on
Nako,
the
Euro versus
west side
ano.
of this map,
Okay.
wherein we just have water and a bit of cover from the houses. So it's either some squads are gonna hold their ground, or at least going straight for engagement. And as of late, Euro definitely not unafraid of those engagements with Kirk and dealing with TNC here from the side. Euro here perhaps find their next victim, so to speak, for Blacklist. They're still outside of the zone, trying to get themselves a bit of a position advantage at this point. No frags yet for this team. So that's going to be a big question of how will they survive the next few minutes, perhaps. But still, 15 squads with this small map, with this an open map.
Kayo
Well,
maingay.
it's going to be a bit of
Nahalata
a
ako,
smarter
nainantok
strategy
ako eh.
that
Huwag kayo
each of these
maingay.
teams need to apply at this point.
Strategy it is. Look at this. Super Kai of 247 just trying to hold up and try to survive for the sake of their team. On the other side, a team of Blank with some SMRS ready to pop it out, but no action just yet. YG Danny will be paying the price of staying outside of the zone on a longer duration. And now MH going in for a little bit of aggressive play, are we? Arsenal guns, they already have that. That's going to be an advantage for them. Smoke Bomber comes into the play. 46 players, 15 teams, and Renzo, another one getting that kill. Euro shot will be taken out. And El Ishang will be the last player standing now for your team number 15. Rain. Now using some kinetic armor, plating up, and make sure he's ready for those engagement. But it's really gonna be amazing. It's really gonna be challenging for L.E. Shang, knowing that Shang is now the last player alive for their team, and the zone is closing in once again. So this is gonna be a very spicy engagement coming from the team's employers as we approach the final moments of this bracket F.
And Ishang just needs to keep his head down. That's the goal here. If you're going in for placements, you don't need to engage with any of these squads. Just stay out of trouble first, perhaps push yourselves for at least the top 3 or top 4. That's the only time you need to engage. So as you can see here, most of these squads holding their ground in their respective houses already. Going in for long-range gunfights. Blacklist trying to go in for a push this time through perhaps dealing with 4K here. But again, that open the ground disadvantage coupled by the smoke. So at least that's a good counter for this one. But for now, we're still barely seeing any engagement, but we're definitely hearing gunshots left, right, and center. Black trying to go in, push in the side of Porkies, but of course, this is the house of Porkies. You do not want to mess this one up, really. This is an interesting setup here. But unfortunately, one goes out of casa, goes down right there, and that means they now have an advantage for Black. Perhaps pulling off an upset here for perhaps one of the most favorable teams to win this particular bracket. Brani, the rest of the crew, hiding this one off. Brani spots the members of Blacklist, manages to shut one down, but the trade is going to be there. Euro also making sure that they have an advantage. The game, Brani trying to shut down another, but of course they still need Euro to deal with. And of course for 4Ks, there's just down to 3 players. Needs to back down a bit. Euro still there. 13 squads still remain at this small of a map. It is just absolutely getting crazier by the minute.
Oh my goodness me, crazier and crazier. Down to our last zone, and we have still 13 teams alive and standing, while the 4 Kings down to their 3 remaining players. And look at that, RS and Euro, or the players of those clans and teams, are now suffering from that blue zone damage. And again, you need to be careful and mindful how you are going to cross and rep position, and being mindful of the zone is really the key to success when it comes to a good position. And Renzo able to get a kill against our Black S7K from that encounter. Negi eliminating Gamb of the 7 Dali Sins, and Negi with an SMRS eliminating all of the T7DS. And this is looking good for Negi, especially with that SMRS just dealing a lot of damage, scoring a lot of knockdowns, and this is starting to spice up, especially for the team of 4 Kings. Now, looking at this aerial view, we are seeing some players coming from the TMW just hold up on that left side. Misty on the other side is also trying to defend their very own mansion, while Negi is causing a havoc right there. Rose will be taken out. T7DS down to their 2 players, Gamb and Classy. Again, I agree with that mention that they need to keep their hands down for the moment and just wait for that opportunity of the placing before fighting back. You need to ensure that you are prioritizing survivability on this side. And Negi boy is really popping out, getting us a lot of kills alongside with Renzu on how they want to get those engagement in. For the TMW, 9 kills for them. Psycho being damaged. Look at the damage from the blue zone. It's no joke. It's a lot of damage. You need to be careful. Final zone kicking in. 4 Kings still outside. Im zone will be taken out as well because of the blue zone. Down to the last 5 teams just surviving for the bitter sake of the end. Zone closing in. Psycho of TMW holding it up. Ellie and 4 Kings, Brand and Negi will be taken out. Now TMW is going to be like it, but ooh la la. Team
Position
number
talaga.
5,
Positioning.
TMW Assassin Main will be the last team standing for this bracket F. What an interesting bracket, isn't it, Dad?
Interesting bracket indeed. Again, it's a mix of all the playstyles. You can see Shang surviving till the very end. I told him to keep his head down. He did. Manages to put himself at least top 2. It doesn't really matter if he lost that gunfight. It was okay. But definitely for 4 Kings, regardless if this is placement points, regardless if it was kill counts, they were definitely making sure that their presence are felt. They're living up to the hype of their names. Look at that kill count right there. That's 7, 11, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 frags for 4K. But of course, landing them with 3rd place. El Ishang carrying their team to 2nd place. And of course, TMW leading the charge with 1st place. Congratulations to them. Of course, for Leap, managing to still survive at Onslaught, finally, with Imzone, Void, and MJ. Despite having no frags, placement point is still going to be good for them. At least, Leap will be represented for the finals tomorrow.
And I agree with that. And honestly, this really caught my attention. On that final zone, I did not see, I did not notice any Leap tags right there. So where are them? Anyhow, they managed to survive until the bitter end and just closely right there, placing 4th, hence securing their spot for the grand finals. Again, it's the same with TMW, LE, 4 Kings, and Leap, and Bound manages to push forward. Now, again, let us hear the thoughts of our ladies, Sharlene and Dogsy.
Hello!
Wow! What an intense
Grabe.
game! What a game to wrap up yung playoffs natin. Napakaganda kasi parang lahat from brackets A to F, walang naulit na last zone, no?
Oo!
Iba-iba.
To be honest, oo, tama.
So parang sa akin, ang interesting makita kung paano sila maglalaro given na yung iba, puro tubig, yung iba, may high grounds, may taguan, yung iba, super open. And dito, ang saya mo panood na parang ano talaga parang sa position talaga. Yun talaga yung nagmamatter talaga yung positioning and kung paano nyo parang isa-sandwich ba yung team sa gitna. Kasi parang nakikita ko na medyo ganun yung nangyari dito. Kung sino yung napapagitnaan, siya yung lugi. Yun talaga yung nangyari. So, congratulations sa top 4 teams natin and yung Leap kahit kulang sila. 'Di ba? Parang pasok pa rin. Ikaw, Doxy, ano masasabi mo?
Ayun, nagulat ako sa Leap kasi sabi ko, shucks, wala nang nakapasok na Leap. Tapos pag nagulat ako, andun pa si Leap Void. Which is hindi nakita ng casters, hindi natin lahat nakita na meron pang nag-survive na isa. And nakakatuwa kasi nga, yung sinabi ni Sharlene na iba't iba yung last zone. Ang sabi ko, ang kalaban ng lahat ng teams sa last bracket is yung yung pwesto. Sa frigid wetland kasi puro tubig.
Mhm.
So, medyo disadvantage yun sa mga sa mga
Team
sa mga
fights.
players kasi minsan bumabagal yung lakad talaga once na nasa tubig ka.
Mm-mm.
Though, maraming cover.
Mm-mm.
Pero ang kalaban talaga nila yung place. Last zone.
Medyo
ang
alam
hirap
namin
nun.
yung frigid na yun kasi bahay namin yan, babaan
Oo,
namin
dyan
yan.
kami bumababa eh.
So,
Pero,
alam namin na
doon
mahirap.
tayo kapag umpisa.
Oo, hindi sa
Pero
dulo.
kapag dulo,
Hindi.
diba ang hirap?
Mahirap dun eh. Advantage
Oo.
dun yung may snowboard, pero nakita naman natin na talagang lahat ng pwedeng gamitin, ginagamit ng mga players, smoke, grenade, lahat
Ayun.
na.
Tapos naka-SMRS pa, di ba si
Oo.
Negi? Naka-SMRS siya. Ang dami niya napapatay rin gamit yung SMRS. At mukbang na naman ng 4K.
Oo,
Marami
naman.
silang ha.
In fairness, we
Parang
have 3 teams
ino-prove.
from 4K sa finals.
Mhm.
Na dapat natin abangan bukas. But yes, again, ito yung top 4 teams natin for this bracket before we reveal yung ating mga pasok sa finals.
Grabe.
There you have it for our top 4 of our bracket F. We have your TMW, followed by LE. Next up is your Four Kings Joker. And lastly, but not the least, is your Leap and Bound. So these 4 teams will be proceeding to the grand finals. Now, ladies and gents, you might be asking, who are all of these teams, lalo na sa mga bagong pasok lang ng ating live, who are these teams that will be proceeding to the grand finals? And let's have it a go. And Dad, take it over.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are our finalists.
Sheesh.
Community Gladiators, Fortitude Real, Hashira Homera, Delta Havoc, Team Alpha, Levendis Valor, Pave Invicta, DU Main, Revenant Esports, Team OK Fire Nevermind, 4K Overload, APE Candy, Wolfpack, Vitality, Mystic, Blackfire Esports, 4K Main, Potato Aim Esports Conquerors, IE Exodus, APE Zenith, Unbothered Main GTX, Astro, TMW Assassin Main, LE Rain, 4K Joker, and Leap Unbound.
Wow!
Nakaka-excite tomorrow. Grabe.
Yes, we
Exactly.
are so excited for tomorrow kasi for sure, ibang-ibang playstyle yung makikita natin. Different from mga nakita natin sa gabing ito kasi may pointing system na. May
Ay,
placing
tama.
points na. Hindi na dapat mag-play safe dito, guys.
Sim. Plus, i-reveal na ba natin? Kasi hindi lang rin puro isolated ang makikitang map natin doon.
Yes.
So, mayroon tayo, i-reveal na ba natin? Pwede na, di ba?
Oo, pwede na siguro. Pwede na. Lagi kung gusto
Kasi
mo
na-reveal
daw.
ko na eh.
Ikaw yan, Doxy eh.
Sige, pakita natin.
Masasama na rin natin ang blackout. So, kanya-kanyang strategy talaga yan. Di ba?
Ayan.
There you
Ito
have
ang
it.
kaabang-abang guys tomorrow. Go!
Exactly for our finals. And now, again, they have already said it. We have a placing points and we have a rotation of the map. Of course, round 1 isolated, round 2 blackout, round 3 back to isolated, round 4 and blackout again. And of course, final round would be an isolated map. So now it's going to be this tournament format that we will be following, isn't it, Dad?
Definitely, no. So now, at least all their playstyles will have to come together. That aggressiveness, the smart gameplay that they'll have to pull off. Medyo, ito na yung pag-decision na natin. Sino talaga yung aangat from all of this. Plus the fact that we will have to see all 4 kings battle it out with each other. Walang kampihang magaganap po dito. Yun yung medyo malupit doon. And of course, perhaps we may see one of these squads that have come in, perhaps surprise all of us and shock the world, perhaps securing their W for the very end. Again, for the finals, it's gonna be both kill points and your placement points. So you will have to be even smarter and even be more aggressive throughout the match for tomorrow. 5 rounds na po tayo bukas. So please make sure to set your alarms for 7 p.m. tomorrow as we, of course, give you the finals matchup for the Community Gladiators Fortitude Real tomorrow here, of course, at the Garena Call of Duty mobile pages, both on Facebook and on YouTube as well.
Yes, again guys, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nanood ngayon
Yeah.
dito sa Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Doc Z, may gusto ka ba sabihin?
Basta mag-alarm na lang kayo guys bukas kasi ito na yung kabang-abang eh. Malalaman na natin sino bang mananalo sa ating Community Gladiators Season 1 this year. Kaya
Yes, yes.
guys, 7 p.m. please.
Yan, abangan natin yan. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Sharlene.
And I'm Doc Z.
And our casters.
I'm Gamagori.
And this is JD Castadad, reminding you always to be good, play nice. This has been the Community Gladiators Fortitude Real Playoffs. We will see you at the finals.
Good night!
Bye!
Good
Good
night, people. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And-
wait. Okay.
Okay. Ito naman.
Wait. Okay. Okay na.
Okay na po.
Okay na.
Woo!
Magsalita.
Grabe. Good job guys.
Ang hirap ng walang break.
G-
Sorry,
Hindi, I mean,
may hinahabol kasi tayong oras talaga.
Okay lang.
No problem.
Kaya
Hindi,
nga
kahit
eh.
hindi naman break. Yung last time na ginawa natin, like may time na host lang, then wala
Oo.
yung caster.
Oo.
Oo, para naiiit na ako eh.
Oo. Oo nga
Pero
yung...
goods lang.
Pero bukas
Yun lang
na lang
tayo.
siguro. Inihintay ko din eh.
Though yung bukas naman 5 na lang rin Pero lagyan na rin natin siguro.
Kapag
Okay.
katapos ng, pagkatapos nyo mag-analyze, pwedeng kami na eh.
Oo. After ng analyzation namin ni Dad and we talk about it, we can pass it over sa inyo for
Oo.
kahit mga 2 to 3 minutes lang. Inom lang
Hindi,
ng tubig.
kaya namin yan. Basta makita namin na nakabalik na kayo. Saka
Oo.
kami magsasabi na.
Sige po.
Oo.
Alright. Uy, pero GG's, guys.
GG's,
Ano,
guys.
Direk!
Kamusta ang code?
Ah,
Ulit,
Direk,
Direk.
thank you Direk.
Kanina, hindi ko sa side ko yon yung first 2 games or 3 games yata.
Alin po yun?
Dahil sa update, nag-iba yung settings.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oo. Nung nag-practice kami nila, Dad, sobrang okay lahat.
Oo, hindi
Tapos
gets
nung
din.
nag-update,
Oh.
Sabihin ko na lang, pero ayusin natin sa YouTube. Dun sila